host, Sue Rose Minahan, NOWCHAT, and I'm host of Talk Cosmos, and I'm with Liz or Elizabeth Muschett, a member of the Moonbeam team. And we just had an occasion, which we do every month, and Liz is going to talk about the full moon on the 27th in Virgo. Hi, Liz.
Hi, Sue. Great to be here today. So the Virgo full moon is on the 27th at 8 degrees and 57 minutes. So we'll just call it 9 degrees. And so the moon is in Virgo, the sun's in Pisces. And I want to start with talking about the Sabian symbol. And the Sabian symbol for the moon is an expressionist painter making futuristic drawings. Well, my interpretation of that is the urge to express, take a chance, and look to the future. And then the Sabian symbol for the sun in 9 degrees Pisces is a jockey spurs his horse, intent on outdistancing his opponent. So to me, that's about speaking about intense energy, skills, and drive for success.
And individuation, I suppose, too, with that painting, creating of the moon energy here.
Yes.
The handle to the bucket. Yes.
Yes. So the chart is a bucket chart with the moon being the handle. And the moon is pretty emphasized in this chart with Saturn sextile to Chiron pointing to the moon, which is the finger of God. So that moon is very active and it's in the 8th house, asking us to make changes and transforming. And Virgo wants us to tidy up, clean, organize, sort through things. So, it can be simple things. It doesn't have to be a whole house cleaning, but it could be, we are getting close to spring, so we could be getting into that. And then with the moon opposite in Pisces, it's like having compassion with yourself to do your project. It's like it might be a huge project, but maybe 15 minutes a day is great. It could be one little drawer. It could be going through 5 books. Have compassion with yourself, but also kind of push yourself to do it. So maybe instead of 15 minutes, maybe 15 minutes a couple of times, and then push yourself to 30 minutes.
I like that. That is very good because Virgo, ruling naturally the 6th house, is daily. It's that increments, the small, and doing it on a consistent basis. So that's a very good suggestion because Pisces it breaks it down into sizable portions of not so big and overwhelming. Excellent.
Right. Because sometimes it's too much. And, there's a change and transformation happening. And Virgo is also basically the ruler of health. And we have a pandemic and we have a vaccine to neutralize the pandemic. So that's an indication of what's happening. And this full moon is the midpoint or the halfway point from the last lunar eclipse to the next lunar eclipse. And the last one happened on November 30th at 8 degrees of Gemini. And the next lunar eclipse happens on May 26th at 5 degrees Sagittarius. So there's been a lot of action going on. I'm sure most people have heard about the engine that fell off the plane in Colorado and littered its debris around Colorado. Today in Seattle, we had some kind of gas leak. Almost every state has had some kind of ice and snow and cold weather. Not all of them, but I think it was 40 states. So that's been a big issue. And, are we prepared to have, to make it through those things? Maybe take a look at your preparedness kit. Do you have alternative ways to heat? Do you have candles? Do you have extra food? Do you have a different way to cook your food? Just kind of be looking at that. There's been lots of earthquakes.
Yeah, I could add that being the moon, it is our stories, our emotions, our security, right? Our home, our food. It's that whole lunar emphasis, but in Virgo, it makes sense what you're saying, to analyze and take inventory of things, of how to fix, whether it's for health or just repair, because that's necessary against the Piscean that will decay if it's just left unattended, rather than neglected. It's really important, because you're right. Texas, for instance, showed us how, with all the breakdown with the waters and the gas pipes, everything, it was like a domino effect, and the concern that our infrastructure needs a lot of repair, dams, for
Yes.
instance. Yes, so it's evident with this enormous winter storm that we realize is unpredictable. Yes.
And even if you have a good preparedness kit, you might want to check for expiration dates, because maybe some things are getting old and it needs to be rotated. We've had quite a few earthquakes. Mount Etna's been puffing away. So
Italy.
lots of activity going on. And usually around the midpoints, we do see a lot of activity. So, we still have, a few more days, maybe the whole week, to see what's going on, but we're already having some indications of activity, because that midpoint, there's oftentimes quite a bit of activity happening.
Oh, regardless, you're saying, because it is between the two lunar eclipses. One in the Gemini, where we're gathering up information, preparing for that vaccine. Right now, we know that's happening. But then in Sag, perhaps we'll have a better philosophy. I don't know.
Yes.
It could help.
Well, and sometimes it's just minor adjustments, because, I spoke about change before. Maybe we just need to improve, and it doesn't mean that it's bad right now, but we could just make it better.
Yes. Excellent.
So it's not mean that you have to totally wipe that out to move on to something new. But, little changes make a big difference sometimes.
Yeah. Thinking, because it's ruled by Mercury. Go ahead. I'm just, yes, inspired.
And this moon is ruled by the sign Mercury. Mercury's in Aquarius. So, thinking really big. And I think that you told me that there was an American Airlines that spotted a UFO the other day.
There was. It spotted it on Sunday, and it was just declared today. Indeed. And it's happens to be, though, that now the government, the CIA, has finally released all their documents. And I think the Black Vault is a site that is housing that. It's a UFO enthusiast site. There's been, I just did a little 10-minute chat a couple of days ago. So yes, it's interesting. Maybe we're ready. Maybe we're ready to see those big-eyed creatures. Yes.
Yes. Well, other countries have talked about it.
Oh, when you think about it, Sag and other cultures, well, I guess a UFO alien would be of another culture. Yes.
Yes. Very, very interesting. So, have compassion for yourself, and, be prepared to, make some minor adjustments. And
Well, what about the to-do list about how to release? Because it is a time of releasing, to open up for that new moon in Pisces that'll happen in March, I think on the 11th. So would now be a good time to sit down and write a list of what we want to improve, how we wish to see our ideal self, perfect self, although with some compassion if we're not.
well, yeah, you could make a list, or you could just give away 3 items, or store, give 3 items to the food bank, or, there's a lot of people in need right now, from storms, from the pandemic. I mean, there's so many different things going on. Maybe your neighbor, maybe your community has something that they're helping other people with. The animal shelters, they always need food or blankets for the animals.
And Virgo is the small animals.
Mhm.
Very good. I was thinking about that too. Be a foster parent too. Oops. Oh, good. We may have a moment here to wrap it up. Thank you, Liz.
Well, thank you for having me, and I look forward to coming back.
Yeah, every month we will. And so Liz is lizmuschett.com. and go to Talk Cosmos. You can find and subscribe. We'll keep you in touch, and thank you, and comment. Okay, good night.
Bye.